Bree, if you feel overwhelmed by all the things you have to do right now, and maybe you're even losing it with your kids, yelling, screaming, and then probably feeling totally horrible about it, know that you're not alone.
Motherhood can be just so incredibly lonely and overwhelming. And when you're trying to do it alone, it feels like you're the only person that's going through it.
That's why we created the free Happy Mom Summit. Let me just add, free third annual Happy Mom Summit.
I love it. You get to experience 5 days of inspiration, fun, connections, and practical strategies that are going to help you yell less, find more patience. And this one, totally my favorite, organize your time.
And we have so much fun, Brie. It's like hanging out with you and me like every day, every morning. We're in there in the group, and I look forward to this week all year.
It is so much fun. We have over like $2,500 in prizes. It's all about connecting, meeting new people, and seriously, you can't lose.
Yeah, and officially it starts March 4th, but you can go sign up now, and the fun has already begun in our online group.
So sign up now for your free ticket. Yes, you heard that right. It is totally free, man. Just visit us at register.happymomsummit.com, but you're also going to want to grab that VIP pass.
Yep, grab that right after because you can get all the presentations right now and you can get over $1,000 worth of bonuses from our speakers. Plus, you get to join me and Bree in Balance VIP for a month. I mean, this is the best. You can't lose. Go and sign up, register.happymomsummit.com, and we will see you in there.
I feel like we're being gaslit for our emotions. We're being told that no, 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 you don't really feel bad. You don't really feel bad. Or if you do feel bad, feel sad, mad, resentful, overwhelmed, anything like that, then you are wrong.
Yeah, you're just not appreciating what you have.
There is a difference between practicing gratitude and toxic gratefulness.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the lovely Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you?
Bree, we started something new at No Guilt Mom, which I'm super, super excited about, which I know that if you have been a member of the No Guilt Mom community for a while, you get our weekly newsletters. And if you don't get our weekly newsletters, like we have a link for you right there below. And it's really simple. Just go to newsletter.noguiltmom.com, sign up for our newsletter because
We try to make it easy. We try to make it super simple.
super simple because every Monday, my goal is to give you this like encouragement. Everyone needs encouragement. Like I always have to fill my brain with positive reinforcement and information. And I find like whenever I stop listening to the positivity and the encouragement, that's when I slowly go downhill.
For me, it's like not having that morning coffee.
Not really.
But you have coffee that you give for the week. Like you give us that oomph to make it through the week. That's what we get from that newsletter. And it's phenomenal, if I do say so myself. I know I'm a little biased, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I almost said banging. That would have been some
Banging.
weird slang
Yeah,
there.
banging. Like we could start using our teenager slang. Like, hey, I'm the
Oh
mom
my
of a
God.
teenager. I use the word banging and I don't even know if I use it appropriately. I just put it out
Exactly.
there. Nor do I know if that is even appropriate slang these days. Who knows?
Yep. Shout out to our episode with Mama Cusses on the whole like, what? What's dupe
Yeah,
mean?
let's do
I thought no.
exactly. Well, part of our newsletter, one of the really cool things is that we want you to share this newsletter with everybody. So we have a referral program with rewards. So like call
Whoop
us the
whoop.
new like who had a referral program before like in the 80s or 90s? I mean Blockbuster did not have a referral program, but like those things where you got like punches and then you got rewards for how many like punches you got. The library reading program.
Oh, well, yeah, like all the time. Like my coffee shop used to do that back
Yeah.
in the day before everything went digital, haircuts.
Haircuts you get
Like,
yeah.
but yeah, my favorite was Changing Hands bookstore here in Phoenix. Like
Oh,
I'd get fill up my punch card and come in and be like, okay, kids, everybody gets to buy a book. We got $10 in credit.
right, right. So like the thing with the newsletter is that there's like a little link for you to share the newsletter with more people and more moms. And the more moms that you share it with and that sign up for the newsletter, you get prizes, prizes, prizes.
I
And
know.
one of our first prizes is we mention you here on the podcast. So we have our first mentions here on the podcast. So you'll be hearing this. So here we go. Our four first referral people, the four people who have shared the No Guilt Mom message so far.
Oh, I should do, like, some kinda drum roll, like
Drum roll.
Ping!
There you go. There you go. There we go. We have our friend Donna, longtime Balance member from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. So yay,
Whoop,
Donna.
whoop!
Veronica from Perth, Ontario, Canada. Thank you, Veronica.
Whoop, whoop!
Hannah from Orlando, Florida.
Whoop, whoop!
And Trudy from Perth, Ontario, Canada as well. So thank
What's
you.
with the Canadians
I
showing
know.
the
Thank
love?
you, Canada. We love you. We love Canada.
Oh, Canada. I loved it.
So if you want your name read right here, guys, newsletter.noguiltmom.com and sign up. And then you get encouragement every Monday and you get to be a part of the podcast. So
Yes!
we're excited about that. We get to talk about something very close to my heart today that I like every time I see a post on social media or anything about it. It riles me up. It makes me mad. I want to like rage against everything. And it's something that we're going to call toxic gratefulness in motherhood.
Okay, right now I'm hearing Britney Spears in my head. Na, 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 na.
Toxic.
Don't you know that you're
Yes.
toxic?
This is it's so toxic. And this has started from a meme that I saw on Facebook that said, "This morning I saw a quote saying, 'What a privilege it is to clean a house made dirty by healthy children playing, to wash dishes because we were able to eat 3 meals today, and to do piles of laundry because we all have clean clothes to wear every day.'" And that sort of thing gets me so mad when it's posted, not just because of the picture, but because of the hundreds of comments under it from women saying, "Yes, I needed that reminder today. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that reminder." And no one else is saying, "This is BS. Like, why are we putting this out here?" Because it's just perpetuating this myth that moms need to do everything on their own and totally negating women's anger about it.
Right. Like, I feel like so I 100% agree with you on this because I feel like there was a big problem in the way that that message was conveyed. What it did was there is a big difference between practicing gratitude and having appreciation for things and being shamed and guilted into you should be happy that you even have this life.
Yes.
Like,
Like
yeah, go ahead.
we see this in our balance community too. I remember just one of our balance members the other day was saying like, "Hey, like I want to bring up in my house that I need more help, but every time I bring it up, I'm accused of complaining."
And I don't
And
want to be a complainer.
that's
That doesn't
I don't
yeah.
want to be a complainer. But I feel like messages like this is what gets us into that mindset about thinking that, we can't complain about anything. We need to be grateful. And that the reason we feel this anger is that we're not grateful enough, Brie.
Yep. It is bull
We don't
crap.
appreciate
It
the
is
things
bull
around
crap.
us. Yep. It is BS because it's so harmful. It's so harmful. And I believe also that it keeps us as women down. Like it keeps us from making a change, from changing things in our society. So, we're going to discuss today exactly how to get around this toxic gratefulness. And we're also going to talk about the patriarchy. And spoiler alert, it is not about horses. So, we hope that you enjoy this episode of the No Guilt Mom podcast.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Okay, so let's talk about how patriarchy isn't about horses? What? What?
Yeah. I'm just Ken. Let's talk about this, shall we? Because I think that first of all, the Barbie movie, amazing. but it resembles patriarchy in so many forms. And I think before I even saw this movie, I didn't even realize the pervasiveness of it, the patriarchy. I thought it was just like, oh, it's like this hate against, that men put these restrictions on women, but it's not. It's actually our entire society putting these restrictions on women. That means women putting these restrictions on other women. And that is the confusing part about when we hear the patriarchy,
Mhm.
because we think as women, we should be standing up for each other, right? That like everyone has their best interests, but there's also these rules that we have as women in society. I mean, you could think of these rules, right, Brie? Like these unsaid rules to be a woman.
Well, like how we're supposed to be the caretakers of everybody. We're supposed to
Yeah.
make it is our job to pretty much keep our families going. We are the
Hmm.
on-site coordinator. We are the planner. We are the emotional support slash therapist. We are the cuddler. We're also most of the time like we're not. Oh, and I don't know. This might just be me, but I feel like the message is often conveyed to that if we aren't successful in a career, then we're lacking still. So, like, we have to be
Yeah.
successful on in what we do professionally on top of everything else. And do it with a smile and gratitude.
Hmm.
#blessed.
It The smile, yes, it's the smile and the gratitude and the you can't be seen as a complainer.
Yeah.
Like, don't be seen as a complainer. In fact, probably this podcast episode, there are, I would bet, a number of people who turned it off as soon as we mentioned the word patriarchy. I would bet. Because it is seen as complaining and not being grateful and not being very womanly or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. Because other women, they will get mad at you for not playing by the rules because they have to play by the rules. So why shouldn't you? Like, they're the ones who are nice and sweet. So why should you be allowed to be angry? Like, no, not dealing with that. You're out. Like, and if you look in your life, there is actually instances in my life I can look back and see how you're pushed out of certain groups with certain norms. Have you watched Bama Rush, the Amazon Prime
No,
documentary?
what is that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, you got to check out this documentary. It is about the University of Alabama sorority rush.
Oh,
And
yeah, I know a little bit about
yeah,
that.
the the lengths that these girls go through.
Yep.
And it's kind of sad as well watching it because every single one of the people she interviewed, the filmmaker, they said the reason they were joining a sorority is because they finally wanted to find their people. They wanted to be accepted. They wanted a friend group to accept them.
Mhm.
And so they saw Rush as this chance to get in. And then she had other stories about girls being rejected by their sororities for one single little misstep that went against the code of conduct of the sorority. One girl got booted because she was wearing another sorority sticker when she saw all of these other people doing things against the code of conduct that they kind of picked and chose just because they wanted her out. Like they didn't like her, they wanted her out, they felt she wasn't a good fit. And I feel like that is what's told to women a lot. You're just not a good fit. And a lot of times, that good fit is usually somebody who is pushing back against the norms, who is wanting things to be different. That's what I would argue. Other times, it's just like, you're just not a great person to get along with, but that is too partly pushing
Well,
back against the norms.
for those who don't know, I'm an Alpha Gam Delta alum. So
Yeah.
I was a sorority girl in college. Way go AGDs. Shout out to my squirrels. Anyway, I would definitely say that for starters with that documentary, even though I haven't seen it, I do know about like specifically the University of Alabama in terms
Yeah.
of sorority and rushing and things like that. And yeah, that is a really good example of you have a very set of well, first of all, let me back this up. Being in a sorority in college in the 90s in rural Missouri was very different than it would have been in Alabama. And yeah, they have it's way more intense down there. And there are so many rules and conduct and things that you are expected to do. And it's interesting because I think people would somewhat say, like, that are in that, and even in the sorority that I was in, it would be like, "Well, you signed up for this, like, you knew what the rules were in the beginning, and you signed up for it."
Mhm.
I had a great experience. I loved all those things, but the sorority I was in was a you would have loved it. We were a little bit more of the, let's push back against the norms and not necessarily follow what everybody else does.
I probably
We were
would've.
the we
I
were
did
the
not gel with
anti
any of the
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, we were the anti-sorority, I feel like, at my campus, but I don't know. I mean, that was just my take. Maybe that made me feel better. I don't know. But I think that that's a really good example, though, of, like,
Mhm.
how where it's like, again, you and I joke all the time, and please, like, I hope that people know that, like, sometimes we joke, sometimes jokes are made because you don't totally understand the backstory of it, or you had personal experiences. Ours are personal experiences. The whole hashtag blessed thing, like, I can't take it. I cannot take it because, again, it comes back to, like, we were talking about. You're being told that you have certain norms that you have to fit into and certain expectations, like this whole thing
Mhm.
that you were just talking about with this documentary. And with that post that started this whole episode, that you have to be grateful. You have to be grateful. No, it doesn't. No, no, little Missy, it doesn't matter. And the little Missy is what would be said. Like, it doesn't matter that you feel like your husband is not a partner in your marriage. It doesn't matter that you're expected to work 40 hours a week and then do 40 hours more at home with no help. It doesn't matter that your kid is having trouble in school. If you just worked better with them, they would be able to figure
That's
out
the
how to
message.
read or do their
That's
long
the message, yeah.
division, right? Like, ignoring all the other things that are going on that make us feel like, oh my God, I am drowning, I am failing, but I should be happy just because my kids are healthy. I should be happy just because I'm married, even like it, no,
It
no.
doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
Yeah.
It is really pushing down that anger to keep women in place. That is my very,
It
like, big opinion
goes back
about
to
it
the
all. Yeah.
'50s, Mommy's Little Helper and all the
Mommy's little
tranquilizers,
helper
all the
was
tranquilizers
Xanax,
moms
yeah.
were on, because that's what it took to make them be able to get through the day, and we still have that same culture now, like, we still have that same culture of doing what it takes to get through the day, and
Ooh, let's talk about what it takes to get through the day right after this break. I've been looking for simple ways to form healthy habits and get the nutrients my body needs, even on really busy mornings. And lately, I've been feeling pretty stressed and sluggish. So that's why I decided to give AG1 a try. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, but it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day. And it makes me feel strong and energized and ready to face the day, in addition to my cup of coffee. And that is why we've partnered with AG1. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1 year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/NGM. That's drinkag1.com/NGM. Check it out. We're absolutely obsessed with our dogs, aren't we, Brie?
oh my gosh, so much. My little Maxie, he is my companion. He is my shadow. Like those songs about dogs that don't leave you alone, that is mine. He's
Yeah.
everybody's snuggle therapist. Actually, like, has gone to therapy sessions quite a few times with my kids. And he has a face that, only his mother could love. But that's okay. He's mine.
I love his little face, his little snaggle tooth he has going on. Like, I love my dog Addie, even though she tends to be a little mischievous and a troublemaker. I will, like, do anything for her. Like, she was just pawing on the back door last night at 11:45 because my daughter let her out and then didn't let her back in before she went to bed. And
Oh no!
so I'm the one who, like, brings Addie in and I'm like, come and snuggle with me and be there and I'll calm you down and it'll all be good.
Yes, we love our dogs. They are one of a kind, and so is their journey. While every moment that we get to have with them is a memory in the making, sometimes our pets, like our cats and dogs, are a little too good at getting into trouble. And that is why you should definitely check out ASPCA pet health insurance.
The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the care they may need. They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are.
The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. Because, as both of us know, vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. You can use their app to submit a claim, and you'll receive a reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account.
To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com slash no guilt. That's aspcapetinsurance.com slash no guilt. Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com slash no guilt. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. Okay, getting through the day, Brie. Like, there has been a mommy wine culture for a very, very long time. And it's one of those instances where instead of really looking at the reasons behind the mommy wine culture, I think that a lot of people have said and labeled it as just like bad. It's like alcoholism. You need to get help. You need to get help. Damn well, like moms need help.
We
They need
do.
help, but not in that. Like,
We need help in a
it's
lot
a
of ways.
symptom.
Yes, and it's
Yeah.
a way to cope to get through things. And we're not saying that it is right or it is wrong. There is a point where
Hmm.
any coping mechanism can go from healthy to unhealthy.
Hmm.
Anything can be
Yeah.
like that. But it we still acknowledge and see this openly in society that we as women are struggling, and that we're doing our best to get through the day to day instead of stepping and taking a step back and going like, wait a minute, why does this all have to be up to me to figure it out? Right?
Exactly. Well, I also think that, patriarchy damages men as well. They are expected to work long hours. They're expected to achieve the highest levels in their career, never show emotion, never show weakness. And those are the things that they're dealing with, which make it hard for them too.
Yeah.
Like everybody is struggling in the system, which is why, like, I always wonder why we keep it going. Like, is it this
Why have we not
like
bugged the system
adverse
already completely and turned into Barbie
yeah,
land? I don't know.
is it this adverse like thing to change? Like it was really interesting talking about Barbie with my sister
Mhm.
because my sister looked at it and she's like, "Yeah, like I just didn't see it as that revolutionary." And I'm like, "Oh, tell me about this." And she's like, "Well, when we went to Girl Scout camp, that's how it was. Like women supporting women, women cheering women. It's what like
Mhm.
we have no guilt mom for. It's the environment that we want." And she's like, "I just didn't see it that revolutionary." And I'm like, "But you know what? That environment we experienced is so different to how the rest of the world
Yeah.
operates." Like when you're in a total female environment where there is no competition placed in front of you, where you are just supporting each other and trying to, make good together, it is revolutionary. But like when you put women in competition with each other, which I think so much of society does,
Mhm.
like especially with these Oscar nominations that just came out. They're like, first of all, there's so much sides to these Oscar nominations, but one of them is like, "Oh, you say that women directors aren't nominated. Well, look, here's a woman director that was nominated, so you're wrong."
Here's one.
Excuse
Here's one
me.
example. We'll give you here's your
I
crumb.
know. Could you imagine? Can you imagine them saying that, being like, "Oh, no male directors are nominated. Well, look, here's Alexander Payne. He's nominated. That means we're not sexist." Like, it is never, ever told that way for men, ever. And yet, for women or for people of color, it is always
Yep.
like that. Always. Being like, "Nope, we can't be that way. Just because like 90% of the population, 90% of the winners are white males, it means we're not sexist because we're racist. We have this population covered." Like, it's so stupid.
It is. Those little tiny pieces don't make up for the larger picture for sure. So so I just feel like we're coming back to when we're being told just to be happy with what we have and be grateful for it. I feel like we're being gaslit for our emotions. We're being told that, no, no, no,
Mhm.
no, you don't really feel bad. You don't really feel bad. Or if you do feel bad, feel sad, mad, resentful, overwhelmed,
Mhm.
anything like that, then you are wrong.
Yeah, you're just not appreciating what you have.
And again, we're trying to get to the point of it, there is a difference between practicing gratitude and
Mhm.
toxic gratitude persona, toxic gratefulness. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. There is a difference in that. And we're going to talk about that difference right after this.
This message is sponsored by EveryPlate. Anyone who knows me knows there are two things that happen with me. I'm always trying to save money and I am always running behind. It's 7:58 and I'm on my way out the door to an 8 a.m. meeting. But that is why we partnered with EveryPlate. EveryPlate has helped me save time with less trips to the grocery store and meals ready in 6 simple steps. I absolutely love how they plan delicious meals and send me the pre-portioned ingredients right to my door. So I can spend less time planning, shopping, and cooking, and all while saving big bucks.
I too have better things to worry about, Brie, than what's for dinner. Every plate provides plenty of delicious variety. I'm talking so yummy, like 26 tasty and affordable recipes that start as little as $1.49 a meal and new recipes every week. This week we're trying the bacon and Gouda smothered chicken. Like I'm salivating. I'm salivating already. You know me and food. And I really love that I can customize my recipes by swapping proteins and sides or even adding a protein to a veggie dish.
Hey, Joanne, do you got a buck?
Yeah.
Well, then you can get steak for life. It seems unbelievable to me, but you can add a 10-ounce ranch steak to your weekly order for just $1 a box with your active subscription.
Get a meal starting at just $1.49 plus $1 steaks for life by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49NGM. Subscription must be active to qualify and redeem $1 steak. You heard that right. Get a meal starting at just $1.49 plus $1 steaks for life by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49NGM. Subscription must be active to qualify and redeem that $1 steak.
Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday who was pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.
Saying that positivity is bad. Positivity is not bad. Gratefulness is not bad. Just being forcefulness upon you without being able to vent the other emotions, that is
Yeah.
bad. Uh, I just reading this book by Gabrielle Bernstein uh, called Super Attractor, and she's all about positivity and like the law of attraction, basically feeling and getting on the same vibe as the universe. I know it sounds woo. It sounds woo. But getting on the same vibe as the universe so that things just naturally come to you. And it's really interesting because she has this book and she gives you little steps to take along the way. And one of them is, I can't remember, it's like choose a new choice or make a new choice, where it's this 3-step process when you get a thought in your head that makes you feel bad. And there's a lot of nuance to this. So know that it's not like, I'm mad right now. That's a thought that makes me feel bad. That anger is telling me something. So we're not going to apply it to that. More like the thought that I'm not enough or nobody wants me
Okay.
around, those kind of thoughts. So if you find one of those thoughts, like no one wants me around, number one, you acknowledge it. You're like, okay, this is really hurtful. I'm having this thought right now. Number 2, you forgive yourself for it. You say, I forgive myself for having this. This is a natural thing. And then number 3, you make a new choice on what thought to think. Like, you're like, oh, and even if your new choice is just like, I am opening myself up to the creative possibilities that are waiting for me right
Mhm.
now. Like, it doesn't have to be something big. It actually has to be something believable. Like, you can't go from nobody wants me around to everybody likes me because that's not believable to
Yeah.
you. But I think it is a believable twist just to be like, I'm opening myself up to possibilities right now. And that brings you a certain amount of calmness, of stability versus this thought that like causes a lot of anxiety and fear. So, when we talk about gratefulness and positivity, looking at it that way, thinking that, okay, it's good to feel good. I don't want to feel angry and anxious and fearful all the time. Those emotions are actually very uncomfortable, very
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And they don't bring the joy to the world that I really want them to. They're good to acknowledge that they're there because that is going to be the first steps to take action for them. But for me to take action, I really need to get myself in a positive place so that more people are attracted to it. So I think it's a really interesting concept, the difference between being grateful and the toxic gratefulness.
Yeah, and so, like, we were talking off camera earlier about how, like, we both practice our own gratitude and
Mhm.
like, you, like, for instance, for me, I was gonna say how you do it, but you can explain how you do it, but I do mine, like, I try to at the end of the day because I'm at a point right now where, like, I've got a lot going on in my life, and I could definitely notice that I've got some burnout that is definitely going on because I've become a bit of a negative Nancy. That's not normally my personality. Normally a pretty optimistic, up high going kind of gal. So practicing gratitude, trying to make it realistic. I do it at the end of the day. Normally in bed with my husband, will be like, okay, so what are you grateful for today? And sometimes my gratitude is literally just, well, uh, I managed to make it through the whole day without, like, grinding my teeth. You know, we had a day where, nobody said anything mean to one another in the house, so that's a positive. And, like, and some of the gratitudes are like, "And you know what? I'm just grateful that you helped do the dishes after dinner tonight. I mean, I know that it's your chore and you do it all the time, but I want you to know that I'm grateful for that and that really makes me feel good that, like, we have that going on." And that is sometimes that is the best I can come up with for gratitude for the day. Other days is really great. Like, "Oh, we had a fantastic day. I'm so happy that we have our whole family together and that we can see each other all the time, blah, blah, blah." But some
Mhm.
days it's like literally I just made it through the day without grinding my teeth and getting a migraine. So, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I like to do mine as
Uh-huh.
wins, like trying to find the wins at the end of the day because I have this association with the word
Okay.
grateful.
And that's
I get
fine.
so
And that
mad
is
at it. Yeah, and
fine.
that's fine. But when I look at wins, it could be something so small as like, "Oh my gosh, I figured out this tech issue that was bugging my entire team, and I'm very excited about it." Or, "I got a really great email of thanks today, and that was pretty cool."
Yeah.
Or, "I felt really good doing this video," or, "This one comment on Instagram was a really interesting conversation, and I liked that." So, looking at those things that brought me a little bit of joy, brought me that win, brought those things in. And then I take it a step further where I try to feel the feelings I felt during that. Because gratitude is it doesn't work unless you take yourself back to feeling those good feelings. And it's funny because when you just sit there and I'm like closing my eyes right now and I try to like bring the feelings back, like I look back and I'm like, okay, what did I feel when I finally figured that out? And I'm like, I feel it in my body. I feel it going up like into my skull, that little bit of a head rush you get where you're like, like so fun. And you could redo those feelings. And it's rewiring the brain when you practice doing that. It's a form of meditation because if you could practice doing that when you're not stressed, your body is going to be better able to access it when you are stressed. And I find that that works really well.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm going through it, I get to relive that moment and I'm happy. I'm
Mhm.
warm, I'm fuzzy. So, yeah. And notice at no point in there did I say, "I'm grateful that my kids are healthy." I'm grateful that I have a messy house. Like, I
No.
just feel like that is, it's telling you that you you're you're wrong, you're bad if you're feeling overwhelmed with that stuff. And we're here to tell you that it's not. It's it's
Yeah.
okay to hate that part of the day. It is okay to hate those
And
things when they're happening.
that it is a part of human nature. I mean, I talk about this a lot. It's called hedonic adaptation, where you get used to the good things in your life so that you want like more of that good thing. And it's just a part of the human brain. Like you get used to those having healthy kids. You get used to like having laundry to clean up, having a laundry machine. Like, I mean, I remember the days in my apartment where we had to go down like 3 whole stories into the garage and like look for a washer that was actually open. And then we had to spend all day like babysitting that washer, do our
Yep.
laundry. And it's not one of those things where I take my laundry basket now and I'm like, I am so grateful I don't have to do it anymore. No, I've adapted to that. And it doesn't bring me as a human joy as it once did when we first, got the washing machine. And that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person because I've adapted
Yeah.
to it. It's just human nature. So accepting that human nature and also accepting that it's okay to want more. In fact, I want you to want more. I want you to want more. Because if you don't want more, like you're not going to grow. You're not going to become that example for your kids. You're not going to become that role model who's pursuing all of these great things in your life. And you're not going to show your kids exactly what they can be versus what society wants them to be. And that's really the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a whole lot ahead of you. You can do anything. You can be in any type of situation, and nobody expects you to be perfect and happy and have a
Mhm.
pasted on smile 24/7, because that's just not realistic. I mean, it's
It's
just
not.
not. Or they're Stepford
I'd
wives
rather
for
you
a
be a real
reason.
person. Wait, smile. I have no way to communicate with you or nothing in common with you.
All I can think about is that video for the 90s, Black Hole Sun, and all they had these, like, terrible smiles, like,
It's crazy.
I can't.
It's
I can't.
crazy.
Mm.
So, can we ask a favor of you before you go? Can you please rate and review the No Guilt Mom podcast? It helps us get the message out to so many more moms. We'd be so grateful for you. And we were out on the air with your little screen name. I know that Apple Podcasts doesn't let us put our real names unless they're already in our account. I'm No Guilt Mom on every single thing I review. So
So if you see No Guilt
it's
Mom, you
me.
know it's
It's
Joanne.
me.
But yes, give us a little, share some love. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Do you agree? Do you not
Mhm.
agree? Do you feel like we're being a little too harsh on things? What are you grateful for? Share that too. Like, would love to
Yeah.
hear that
Until
stuff.
next time, remember the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey there, I'm Debbie Reber, the founder of Tilt Parenting and the author of the book Differently Wired. The mission of Tilt is to change the way neurodivergence, whether that's having a learning disability, having ADHD, being gifted, autistic, or some combination of all of the above, is perceived and experienced so differently wired kids and the parents like us raising them can truly thrive. On the Tilt Parenting podcast, I get to talk with authors, therapists, educators, and parenting experts who are committed to this mission. I ask the questions my listeners are most curious about when it comes to supporting our kids. And in turn, my guests share strategies for challenges, out-of-the-box ideas for navigating school, best practices for therapies, tips for advocating, and so many thoughtful insights on what it really takes to help our kids grow up feeling seen and respected so they can create awesome lives for themselves. I know that raising a differently wired kid can feel overwhelming and isolating, but I promise you, you are not alone, and it can feel so much better. If you're on this parenting journey, come listen to Tilt Parenting. Together, we can shift this paradigm and show up for our exceptional kids with hope, possibility, and joy.